Hello, today I will talk about the will 10% of employees need to be laid off. You know, thank you. Letting workers go, whether I'm laying off a single worker or conducting a large layoff, is one of the toughest tasks managers face. And because of the emotional stake involved, it's also one of the tasks most likely to land a company in legal trouble. To ease the pain and avoid the courtroom, I consider the decision carefully. Laying off an employee is different from firing an employee. Firing means letting a worker go for any reasons, whereas a layoff refers to an employment termination based on economics, usually involving more than one worker. Here, because sales revenue is down, 10% of employees need to be laid off. The companies that consider layoffs usually try to cut costs in order to get the company out of a hole or make it more profitable. But keep in mind that layoffs can be costly in other ways. For example, the company may have to pay severance packets, remaining workers' productivity and morale may decline, and the company may even be faced with a lawsuit depending on how the layoffs is conducted. But today, I have to say, given the risk, the company carefully consider whether I really need to conduct layoff and whether I can do so legally. In some cases, less painful alternatives can do the trick. This might include a freeze of hiring, promotion, or pay rises, a freeze on filling positions left vacant when employees leave voluntarily, cutting other costs, pay cuts, asking employees to take time off or reduce their hours, reducing authorized overtime, or providing voluntary termination incentives to allow employees to decide whether to quit in exchange for a package of benefits. Even if implement the strategy will not eliminate the need for layoff by considering and perhaps implementing some of these alternatives before laying workers off. Fewer workers will question me whether the layoffs were truly necessary. The company laid down the all specific rules as to when and how the company may conduct a layoff. All of us know the rules and follow them. The company has always paid severance to workers it laid off in the past, and it may have to do so now. The worker has an employment contract with the company. I check it carefully and make sure I can lay off the workers for economic reasons. The contract also may require severance. Because the workers is a union size, you can check the collective bargaining agreements for limits or rules on layings of workers. The company is not required to offer severance or other termination benefits, but I consider doing so anyway. It's a good way to show layoff employees, retains employees, and the general public that the company values their workers' contributions and is concerned for their welfare. Figure out which department or position will be cut. Now that you know the company's goals, I will be able to figure out which area needs to be scaled back. For example, if the company is cutting back on direct sales to focus more attention on research and development, the sales department can be safely targeted for cuts. At this point, I should focus on job and position, not on individual workers. I check each try. Once the initial list is finished, I look it over for potential problems. I make sure my layoff plan does not discriminate or appear to discriminate on an illegal basis, such as race, age, or gender. After making my list, I find that most people on it are, say, women or over age of 40. I rethink my plan and talk to an employee's lawyer already. You know, with 10% of employees will need to be laid off, I try to keep enough people to do the work. I make sure the workers who are left will be able to do the work that remains. Workers I do not lay off will quickly begin searching for a new job if they are asked to do twice as much work. Thank you for your listening. Goodbye.